I feel like somebody's watching us.
Maybe there's...
Oh? Yeah! Yeah. Why?
What?
Hmm. Yeah. Got it. Great. I hate that woman.
She was a handful, wasn't she?
What's wrong with being passionate? Not to mention, she was kind of cute.
Of course that's why you like her.
Always good to be back in familiar territory.
We've reached our destination.
We finally made it.
Wonder what we'll find out there this time.
Most likely Zeugles, I would reckon.
I mean, other than them.
Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
Little help! Glacial Spear! Here's evil! If they rush you, you gotta jump for cover, okay? In here!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Do it! Seems about right to me.
Ow!
You got the Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Try this!
It's the wind! Here's
I'm on Demon Fang!
in the wind!
Eternal Devastation!
This'll come in handy.
I'll stop its charge.
Save it, Kisara!
Lunar Rondo! Rising Sun!
Armor won't save you!
Shockwave Flash!
Glacial Spear!
Eternal
That's quite a
Devastation!
talent.
Your father once made the same remark.
Even my dad noticed, huh?
That'll teach us for getting cocky.
Hoo! Hoo hoo hoo! Hoo hoo hoo! Hoo! Hoo hoo hoo! Look, Hoodle! One of your buddies! Hoo! Get lost!
Burn in hell!
Lightning attack! Let me help you! First aid!
Double Demon Fang!
Where are you going?
You're mine!
You made quick work of them.
Want me to pick up your slack then?
Just pointing it out.
These little ones.
Less talking, more pummeling. This could be useful.
A fish! You saw it too, right?
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Ren and eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done. Where should I cast my line? Hup! Oh, we've got a lively one. Dagnabbit, it got away. Hup. Not my lucky day, I guess. There we go. Good fishers always keep their cool. All right, once more from the top. I've got something. I reeled us in a big one.
I can't believe you caught that with a rod. Amazing.
Could it be? This fish is way bigger than I was expecting.
Remarkable. You're top of the food chain.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us. Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts...
Hey.
Hmm?
Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
This looks perfect. Guaranteed to hit the spot.
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? You worried about what's going on with Menancia?
What makes you think that?
Well, you were speaking to Kisara earlier, weren't you?
It's rude to listen in on others, you know.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you two were actually talking about, though. I just figured it was Menancia since it was the two of you.
I am but a former lord who has abandoned his post. I'm no longer in a position to lead the realm in any capacity whatsoever. Yet Kisara still seeks out my opinions, knowing full well that is the case. This despite the fact I am no longer her master either.
Couldn't it be precisely because you're not her master anymore? It's natural for friends to want to hear each other's opinions.
I hadn't considered that possibility.
It's funny what you miss sometimes.
Hardly uncommon among artistic types such as myself. When lordships are decided based solely on one's astral energy, it can lead to funny results.
But even so, you still took your job as lord seriously, didn't you?
Certainly. I learned to perform my functions. However, I was less interested in ruling, so much as avoiding life and death decisions. Of course, such a mentality in the end led only to sickening pain and death taking place elsewhere out of sight. I pretended not to see or hear any of it, content to let our supposed peace and equality keep me blind and deaf to reality. I was a fool.
But you're making amends.
I would like to think so. The path ahead is dark, yet I still walk on. I merely pray that I shan't fall down any holes along the way. We'd best get ready for tomorrow. Shall we get moving? Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Looks like trouble with capital T!
Together, we've got this!
Here's the evil! I'm not so good with airborne targets.
Eat this! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Come one, come all! This is looking good! You're mine! Lunar Rondo! Hurricane Thrust! Here! You're mine! Take it! It's over!
The tide of battle has turned. That's the power of comrades in arms. Comrades in arms.
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Wow! Look what I just found. I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danon, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danons in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danons in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
All right. There's nowhere to run from my art.
When he slows down, that's our chance! Double demon fang! Shockwave flash!
Can't get out of this!
Double demon fang!
I'm only getting started.
Double demon fang!
Raging cascade!
The earth throbs with pain. Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah, and the tumbling to me!
Shockwave flash!
You require a help. Take this!
Double demon fang!
It's time!
Dance in the wind! In here!
Take this!
Storm! Eternal devastation!
Now I'm in the groove!
Take this!
There you go! Don't let up!
Can't get out of this!
Shockwave flash!
Raging storm!
No escape!
Blows flight! Gemini Aqua!
Double demon fang! No escape!
Raging cascade!
Shockwave flash!
Take this!
It's over! Shockwave flash!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Strike! Eternal devastation!
Save you!
This one's all mine! You're finished! Double demon fang!
You require a help.
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. That treasure. What a sweet-sounding ring it has.
You really think so?
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
Little help!
Hey, when did I get so popular?
I'm only getting
Take this!
Double Demon Fang!
It's a duel It's in the sky, it's
Shockwave
I'm free! Why can't they just sit still?
Shion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
Eternal Devastation! I'm on it!
Lightning!
Too fast! Stand back! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Not yet!
The enemy's real on too.
We'll soon see about that. Healing circle!
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
You made quick work of us.
Want me to pick up your slot then?
Just pointing it out.
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content. I'm not myself in the heat of the moment.
These fists have got your name on them.
You're mine!
More for the stockpile!
That's nothing yet.
Did you just heal me?
Yes, I need you, remember?
Right.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
I wonder if we can make new weapons with this.
Bad feeling about this.
Lightning condemned!
Hurricane Take this!
Airborne beast. Mine
We got fire!
I've got this! Let him handle it!
All yours!
Swallow flight!
Talon Hurricane!
Hurricane Thrust!
Pierce evil!
Rising Falcon!
Alright!
Eternal Devastation! Double Demon Fang! Lunar Rondo! Hurricane Thrust!
Swallow there!
Take this! Take this! Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
Here I go!
My this one's all mine! Rising Falcon!
Now!
Hey! Blow them away!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trips.
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out.
Flying Light Spear! Lunar Rondo!
Pierce evil!
Shockwave Flash!
Smash you!
Eternal Devastation! Not today!
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
An astronaut.
That's my cue.
Shut him down.
Now!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Here I go.
Hurricane Thrust!
I never miss.
Double Demon Fang!
Glacial Spear. Here's
Shockwave
evil.
Flash!
In here. Freeze now. Soline. This one's got your name on it.
Act to act.
Now!
There.
Rising Falcon!
I'm on
This
a roll.
one's all mine!
Eagle now.
Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
Looks like trouble with a capital T.
Together, we've got this! Shockwave Strike! Take this! Double Demon Fang!
Shining Supernova! Burning Glacial Spear! Leave the enemy's arms to me!
I can carve milk and plates here.
Charges to me!
Burn!
Watch this.
Here I go!
Double Demon Fang!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Shockwave Strike!
Now!
It's still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I wonder if I'm as strong as my dad was.
One day I think you'll surpass him.
I wonder when. Let's see what you've got.
This one! Give it a whirl! Here, let me help!
Double Demon Fang!
Leave the agile ones to me.
This one's mine!
Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Glacial Spear!
Take
Here's
this.
evil!
Right here!
It's over.
I got this!
Take this.
Here I go!
Crush!
Don't mind if I do! I'm only
This one's mine!
Thank you.
I'm ready! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Did it!
Yeah! Nice technique!
Luna Rondo!
Reload!
Terror! Hurricane Throw!
I'm gone!
Rising Falcon!
Freeze Lancer!
You're mine!
I'll heal you all!
Impressive!
Eternal
I didn't even get to have my turn.
History abounds with tales of lords daring exploits.
Take this!
Maybe you'll share some with me.
Devastation! Burn in hell!
Do it!
Blow them away!
Sighted! Going in!
Demon Fang!
This one's mine!
Take
Your armor won't save you.
Now you've gone and ticked me off!
Hear me!
Make it rain!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! I need to be stronger.
We got some good equipment.
I can't say its appearance is to my tastes, personally.
More Danon runes here too, I see.
What were people even thinking?
We're in for a long slog with this one.
It's over!
Going in.
Double Demon Fang!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Eternal Devastation!
Ready! Confiscating! Ready to go!
Far enough!
Take this.
This one's mine!
Heal! Okay, here I go!
Make it rain!
Double Demon Fang!
Here! Tiger Blade!
Shockwave Flash! Resonate with the earth! Double Demon Fang!
Here goes!
Shockwave Flash!
Lightning!
Enough ammo! Look sharp!
Here's
Here's
Luna Rondo!
Thanks, Shiva. And just like that, I'm back in it. Start by holding the front line. No sooner said than done. Make it rain!
Devastation! Crush!
So that's how a lord fights.
I don't perform well when I'm scared.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear.
Hurricane with the earth!
Do it! Tiger Blade!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Good to know my training is paying off.
I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahag Sars?
Don't get
careless.
Hurricane thrust!
Don't tell me!
This one's mine.
Rising
Not on my watch.
shockwave flash!
This one's mine.
Double demon fang!
Nothing gets by
Eternal
me.
devastation!
You see this coming? Time to shine.
Now you see what I can do!
Flaming meteor.
Come and face me! Double demon fang!
Florida.
Can't get out of this! Struck! Eternal devastation!
Mega ray.
Not today!
Benediction light.
Shockwave flash!
Ring
Do
contagion
it.
ruin.
Going in. This one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes. A merry distraction.
There's still more to go.
Hurricane thrust!
You made me angry. That was a bad idea. This one's mine.
Luna Rondo!
Benediction light.
Rising Falcon!
Do it. Go for it. Prepare to crumble.
Benediction light.
Double demon fang!
This one's mine. This one's mine.
Rising Falcon!
Turn blade. Shattering the pieces. Attack time. Make it rain.
Annihilate! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that way.
This one's mine.
My lady?
Something you wanted to say?
Double demon fang!
A debut performance.
Make it rain.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone.
So I still had room to grow.
What's this thing?
Out of my way.
Hurricane thrust!
You wanna play? Come at me. Mega ray. This one's mine.
Shockwave flash!
Tiger blade.
Eternal devastation!
Radiant.
I'll smash you!
This one's mine.
Eternal devastation! It's over!
I never miss!
Searing flame. Do it.
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
We did it.
Magnificently done.
Radiant. Here.
Rising Falcon! Eternal devastation!
Darling, this one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes. On your knees.
Radiant. Here.
This one's all mine!
This one's
Shockwave
mine.
flash!
Freeze. Do it.
Struck!
This one's mine.
Take this!
Thrilling.
Tiger blade.
Great!
Phew, what a rush.
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
I don't know about that. If I had to get...
Let's see what you've got.
Here I come! Luna Rondo!
Shattering the pieces. Attack time. This one's
Hurricane
mine.
thrust! Rising
Mega
Falcon!
ray.
Take this! I'm not done! Eternal devastation!
In a bind?
Back into the fray. Ready. This one's mine.
Armor won't save you!
Do it.
Go! In an instant! Impact Cross! We work well together.
Like a finely timed walk.
This one's all mine! Eternal devastation! Double demon fang! Shockwave flash!
I'm ready.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Back into the fray.
Crush! Double demon fang! Tear! Hurricane thrust!
With the earth.
Tear! Luna Rondo! Here I come!
This calls for a celebratory drink.
Double Demon Fang!
Ready to Mega Ray! Gemini Aqua!
Double Demon Fang!
Glacial Spear! Here's Evil!
Devastation! Crush!
Freeze Lancer!
Eternal Devastation!
I never miss! Here goes! Hear me! Flame of Fury! Burning! Glacial Spear! Here's Evil!
Eternal Devastation!
Freeze
Here!
Lancer!
Hurricane Tiger! Rising Falcon!
There!
Shockwave Strike!
Here!
Here I come! You'll finish my turn! You're mine! Eternal Devastation! Not today! Shockwave Strike!
Glacial Spear! Here's
Ready
Evil!
and ready!
The tide of battle has turned in our favor.
Then let's keep pressing the attack.
Indeed, but remain ever vigilant.
Round and pound! Radiant Spear!
Behold! The Earth hope! Tectonic vision! Was my mystic art to your liking?
Out of our way!
Denied! Begin! Armor won't save you!
Glacial Spear! Here's Evil! Not on my watch!
No further!
You're off! Going in!
Shockwave Blast!
Prepare to receive the Actually, perhaps sound is more appropriate.
Less talking, more doing!
Take it ready!
Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Can't move! I couldn't make it in time.
Freeze Laser!
Piercing roar!
Mega Ray! Watch it! Power Storm! Annihilation! Mega Ray!
Fang Blast! Talon Storm!
Radiant Pierce!
Fang Blast!
I need to be stronger.
I won't forgive you!
You're mine!
Now you see what I can do.
Here goes! Radiant Pierce!
Resonate with the Earth!
Tiger Blade!
Their arts were interrupted.
Double Demon Fang!
Piercing roar!
Crush! Heal!
Not on my watch!
Eternal Devastation!
I'm only getting started!
Double Demon
You've got a knack for battle.
I still plan on training.
That's what I like
You
to
picked
see.
the wrong
These
fight!
little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's
Double
content.
Demon Fang! Eternal Devastation! Crush!
This one's
Shockwave
mine!
Blast! Coming through! Ha! Mount! Scarlet Inferno!
I shall ensure you survive this.
Rising Falcon! Coyote Walk! Try this! Infernal Torrent! Double Demon Fang! Eternal Devastation! Crush!
In a bind?
Eternal
Anything in armor is all mine.
Take this!
You.
Double Demon Fang! Crush!
Here's Evil!
Here I come! Shockwave Blast! You're mine!
Tiger Blade!
I can feel my power growing!
This might be some decent equipment.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me.
misread the link.
That's far enough!
Hurricane Thrust! Hurricane Shot!
It's me!
Take it! It's over!
I'm gone!
Take it!
Where are you going?
Burn it out!
Head that way! Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
I'm ready!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Good to know my training is paying off.
I think Hoodle's hungry.
Funny. I could have sworn that was your stomach making all the racket.
Right, here goes! Take this! I'll take you all on!
Armor won't save you!
Annihilation!
I'm gone!
Don't mind if I do.
Take this! This one's all mine!
Here I go. I never miss.
No escape! Not today! Super strike!
Here,
Brutal current!
first
Eternal devastation! I'm ready! Go! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Now we're not here!
go. I'm only getting one thing.
Shockwave strike!
I'm ready!
In an instant! Impact block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
No escape!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Rising Falcon! Shattering! I'm ready!
Does anyone else think this may be just a bit too tough for us?
Through these lands most verdant green, my eyes alight for sights unseen. In Menancia, pure and pristine.
What is it you see exactly?
That's not for me to say.
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldaman and Sia of its enemies, and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along. But it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
Ugh.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being and forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes, I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Denon to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menancia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
the landing. Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? You already tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahag Sar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already! I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm...
Been looking for you.
For me? Why?
He's tough.
Who are you? You said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the...
That is all I desire.
Then why are we fighting? Who even are you? Double Take that! Everlasting! Double Demon Fang! Begin! You're mine! Who the hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
It's unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a lord?
You're helping me as become
Here I
It's
go.
for the good of all of us.
Who's it now?
I'm out of here.
Their arts were interrupted. Take this!
What does we?
Elusive deity!
Far enough!
You may be strong, but I'll never back it! Can you take it?
Come on.
From beyond, imbued its vanquished
Here's a healing
soul
art.
with
First
resuscitation.
aid.
Down! Your art!
Not done yet!
Going in!
Here I come!
Entertain me.
Going in!
Heal!
Going in!
Take this!
This is some punishment.
Going in!
Enjoy.
Here, let me help you.
Out of the woods, it seems.
I owe you one for
Double
that!
Demon Elusive deity! Eternal devastation! Lunar Rondo!
This is some punishment.
You pay for that!
Did you just hear me?
Yes. Need you, remember?
Right.
Bring you back from the
You're mine!
resuscitation.
You're finished!
Crescent
Can you take it? Take this! You're finished!
Rotating
Far enough!
It's on!
This now you see what I can
do! Lunar Rondo! Hurricane Throw!
Here's a healing art.
Rising Take this! Double Demon
Enjoy.
Double Demon Fang!
I don't have much left!
Magna Ray.
Flaming meteor!
Here, let me help.
This one's mine!
Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die. A wretch like you? Till next time.
Shion, wake up, please!
Alphen?
Shion!
Thanks, but you're kinda crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion, we thought
I'm
you were...
fine. Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides, Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alphen?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine. Really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Dahnan astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Nias, the capital of Mahag Sar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest.
Hey. How are you holding up after that last fight? You're not too hurt, are you?
I'm fine, really. See for yourself.
If things get too tough out there, go ahead and fall back. I can take a beating if I need to.
I'm not here just to stand around and have everyone protect me.
I get that, but there's nothing wrong with admitting you have weaknesses too.
Do I look like I'm just trying to put on a brave face to you?
I can't feel pain. But you still can. Can't you?
Look, I appreciate you're trying to look out for me, but even you go down in fights from time to time. Please, stop trying to babysit me. It's getting old.
It's not that. I just...